Hello and welcome to Travel Beans. I'm Emma, this is Alex, and if you're new here, we are a British couple who are currently in the US and have just bought our first holiday home here. This is Frank.
So the plan is to come back to the US over the years and keep it in storage to be able to go and explore this awesome country. And if you've been watching the previous videos, you've seen how we bought the van, but we haven't shown you exactly what it looks like inside. So today we're giving you a van tour.
So let's start with the outside. Frank is a Ford Econoline 250 made in the beautiful year of 1988.
What a year.
What a year. It was the same year that Al and I were born, so we are all the same age and on the same page. So one of the main reasons we chose something like Frank rather than a standard van to self-renovate is because we wanted something that was ready to go off the bat. Pretty much. Alex and I actually have a camper van already, which is based in the UK, but it is a teeny tiny VW T4, which we can only stand up in when we put the pop top up. So for us, Frank is massive. So there's a few things that Frank has, which our Beat Machine back home doesn't have. One of those is a water connection, so we can basically use this as a fully self-contained RV. So if we go out to an RV site, we can plug it into the water and have constant water flow.
Also, you're going to see here that not everything on this van is that nice as you would expect.
We have just purchased Frank and we are going to be showing you everything, warts and all, because he's not perfect. He's getting on a bit, and we do plan on making a bunch of renovations, but this will probably be over the years, over a number of trips, because we're only here for a couple of months and we just want to get out on the road ASAP.
So this just randomly is the back of the fridge. We don't know what everything is and why it's there.
We're still discovering Frank and all his intricacies.
But yeah, moving swiftly on.
Why can't I? Got
Ta-da!
that in, didn't we? Moving swiftly on is, well, this isn't one of the best parts of Frank. He's seen better days.
This is definitely the worst part of Frank, I think. When we opened this before, there was a hornet's nest living in it.
Right here.
And as you can see, this is where the leisure battery is, but it is corroded as f***.
It has definitely seen better days. You can see a bunch of corrosion on the top there. We're just going to have to get rid of this baby straight away and get a new one put in. It is a limited size in here, so it doesn't give us much space, but we're hoping to be able to actually put some more battery power inside the van, which we will show you shortly. Something else I really love about Frank, which we have on our van back home as well, are these big barn doors at the back. I know some vans have like a sort of a thing that opens up that way, which I don't like so much. This is more like a real house, you know, you can just open the doors and let yourself in. I also love that we've got stairs, not stairs, a ladder. I can't even speak. Spare tire on the back. On the side here we have the waste, so we've got black and grey water waste that we can empty from the sides. Around here we also have the power connector here that we can connect to the mains, and then Frank can have access to electricity, so that will power the air conditioning, microwave, all that kind of stuff. This bit here is so we can fill up our freshwater tanks, and then we just have a bit of a storage locker here on the side where we can store sort of hoses, bits and pieces that are useful for campsites. Something kind of unique about this van, to me anyway, is the fact that it has two fuel tanks. So you've got the main fuel tank here, but there's also like, I guess, a secondary or a backup fuel tank, which is much smaller than the first one. Can somebody leave in the comments, why on earth are there two fuel tanks? So that is it for the outside of Frank. Now it's time to go inside. Let's start in the cab and work our way back. So the dash is my favorite part of the inside of Frank. I just think it looks so perfect and well maintained.
It's so retro. We've even got a cassette player.
I know, cassettes. I feel like we have to purposely go and buy a bunch of cassettes.
Where on earth can you get cassettes from?
Thrift stores, maybe? I don't know. It also has air conditioning down here, but it doesn't work. So we've got that booked in to get fixed at the mechanics later this week.
I love that we have these awesome drinks holders, but as a number of you pointed out, you hate that noise while we drive. It's
a little bit squeaky, so yeah, there'll have to be a few adjustments on that to make it more livable, otherwise we may go insane. Our van in the UK is a manual, whereas this is an automatic, so it's taking a little bit of getting used to. As well as being an automatic, it's got one of these like little things on the steering wheel to change from drive to park, reverse, etc., which is so interesting to me because I feel like I've only ever seen those in movies. So I very much feel like I'm in a bit of a time machine while I'm driving Frank. The front seats are really comfy and they have these armrests that come down, and then this one over here actually swivels around, so it does really open up the whole living area over here. But before we show you the rest of the living space in the van, we want to give a huge shout out to today's sponsor, Jackery, which is the first product we have got for our van. And if you've seen our past videos in Europe, you'll know how much we love our Jackery that we have in our other van too. Jackery is a portable power station which you can either use as your main power source or as a backup. We use it for pretty much everything. It will be our main power source for now as well because of that corroded battery. With this, you can actually charge a bunch of different devices at once. So we've got the main sockets here, which you would find in your home, for example, which is really great for us because that's what we need to charge laptops and camera batteries, which use a lot of power. We also have USB-C and USB outlets here, as well as a 12-volt charger like you would find in your car. It's also a really sturdy design with a big handle on the top here, so you can move it indoors and outdoors as you wish. You can charge it through the mains in your home, or you can charge it through the 12-volt in your car as you're driving along. And the thing that we're most excited about is charging it via solar. Especially the fact that we're driving around the US in the early summertime. There's going to be a lot of sunshine and hopefully a lot of opportunity to charge this baby up with free sunlight. We would also like to announce Jackery's biggest annual event, which is International Jackery Day, which will be on the 13th of May. On this day, there is going to be a new global product launch. We don't even know what it is yet, but we are super excited to see what it's going to be because we absolutely love this product. So if you would like to find out what's going to be launched, make sure to check their website, which we will leave down in the description below, as well as to check out their other products on offer. Now, back to the van tour. Here we have the main layout of the inside of our van.
And as you can see, really spacious.
Yeah.
Right, the two of us here can fit very comfortably, especially if one is sat down on the swivel chair.
Yeah.
But we can have guests in here.
This is incredible. Like, I'm really excited to actually be able to host people in this, like the Endless Adventure when we go off on our trip with them. It's going to be so much fun.
Also, you can stand really easily.
Yeah.
The fact that I can even walk under this aircon bit comes quite low, but no problem for someone that's 5'10". And like I said, that I'm 5'7". 5'10" isn't even impressive, but to me it is.
Let me show you guys all around the little bits and bobs around in here. It is completely as we got it. We have changed absolutely nothing so far. Let me start with the kitchen here. First things first, I love the fact that we have a view from the kitchen.
This is epic.
These doors on the side are incredible. I really, really love them. The kitchen is very modest, but I think it's like the perfect size for this van. So we have a sink with running water, which, as we showed earlier, we can have plugged in from the outside, or we have a fresh water tank, which is located underneath this seat here.
This cupboard here came with our very own dead lizard.
Oh yeah, there was a nice little dead lizard that was smelling a bit funky in there when we got it. So we had wasps and a dead lizard. I wonder what else there is that we haven't found yet.
He has been evicted since then though.
It is completely empty now. We have taken everything out. There was so much stuff left in this van when we first got it, so we had to completely gut it.
That said, when we open it, there is a little stale smell that just come out.
Yeah, let's just close that and pretend that doesn't exist. There's also some storage in the kitchen area, so we have a drawer here and then a couple of little cupboards. This also came with its own electric cooker. So in our van in the UK, we actually have a gas cooker, which we really love because it means that we can move inside or outside depending on how we're feeling. This one, I guess you can only really use when you're at a hookup because I can't imagine it's going to be particularly efficient for using the leisure battery to charge it. So I imagine we'll be trading this in for something a little bit more efficient. The van also came with this massive fridge. The fridge we have at home is about this size. This is enormous. I don't even know how much power this is going to consume. And I also am not quite sure what's with having this on there. I guess it's just to keep it in place. But yeah, this is enormous. I can't imagine we would ever actually fill a fridge this size, but who knows?
We also have a microwave, which I've never seen in England, any of the vans having microwaves, so it makes me think that's maybe an American thing. Maybe wrong with that. I can't imagine we're going to use that because that is going to be a huge battery zapper. We also found in one of the storage cupboards over here, we have a toaster oven with its own coffee maker, which is a weird combination to me.
Please leave in the comments, is this a normal thing? Like a toaster oven and a coffee maker all in one? It's not something that we have ever seen before. The biggest difference between this van and our other one is just the storage. There's a bunch of storage up here, you have little shelves everywhere, you've got cupboards up the top. It's just an endless amount of storage, as well as a great big wardrobe in the back and a cute little pantry in the side.
Frank is a 2-bedroom van. As you can see, we've got a bed up here and a bed down there. So this sofa, I just really like this mechanism. It turns into a bed quite easily. You just pull this
and it flips over.
Out, and that's it. I also love that it has seat belts. So if in the future we ever want to have some extra guests, maybe a couple of bambinos, Frank is ready for them. And it is stupidly comfortable down here.
You look comfy.
And I imagine that we'll be sleeping down here more often than not because it is going to be pretty hot in here, especially in the summer. And I imagine up there is going to get quite toasty. But the fact that we can switch between the two is pretty awesome. And let me show you at the top.
I love how easy that is.
Done.
So good.
So good. And so for this bed, you just pull it out. Make the little bed, jump on up.
Monkey man. So graceful.
It was meant to be graceful. So up here is actually quite surprisingly roomy for me.
Yeah, it's like a bunk bed. Like there's the bottom bunk, there's the top bunk.
Without the aircon and all that stuff on, it is definitely too hot up here. But I imagine it could be pretty good, and especially in a pinch we could have 4 people in here. But I think the main problem for me is just the getting down. If you need to pee in the night, I mean, I wouldn't be able to just like put my legs over like this over Emma.
Yeah.
So it's pretty hard to get out gracefully.
Yeah.
You can kind of get wedged if you choose this exit option, which I've chosen. But if you just flop out and you're done. And then,
yeah, so I imagine that will be mostly used as storage / extra bed for if we have visitors.
But all in all, it's pretty easy.
There is actually a table for this space for the kind of like working / eating your dinner situation, and it attaches into the floor in these little bits right here.
By this questionable carpet.
Yeah, yeah, we're gonna have to give it a deep clean.
So the table is, you know, ignore this bit, is over here.
And I think this is a pretty standard design for camper vans, where you basically stick the poles in the floor and put the table on top. At the rear of the van,
good choice of words,
pun intended, we have the toilet and the shower. So one thing we don't have in our van back at home is an actual bathroom setup. We have a portable compost toilet that we use, but to have an actual inbuilt toilet and shower, as well as having these barn doors at the back to open it up, to air it out perhaps, to let any steam out.
So you can have a scenic poo or a scenic shower.
Although this opens this way, if I was going to change it, I would probably face it the other way so I could be facing that direction.
You could always straddle it.
Could always straddle it. Yeah, that's a good point. 1 foot in there, 1 foot over there. This is going to get creative. The shower setup is almost like a shower over the bath situation.
Could you fit in that?
Let's try, shall we? The answer is yes. Yes, I can fit in here.
In a sort of Japanese bath style.
That's exactly what it is, like one of those tiny Japanese baths, or like a child-sized bath. Either way, I guess it does the job of keeping the water in here rather than out there, so it's all good. I didn't even notice this before. We have a little toilet paper holder. It's like actually being at home. And I think that's it. That concludes the tour of the inside of our van. Just trying to think if we've forgotten anything.
You didn't mention the aircon, the monstrous unit of that.
It is huge. We have tested that out and it does blow out air, cool air, not cold air. Cold
Yeah.
air would be pushing it. So we definitely need to have that looked at, because like we were saying earlier, I think it's going to get pretty warm in here, especially traveling around the US in the summertime. So that is one of the higher items on our priority list.
So that's it for our tour of Frank, and we would love to know what you think of him.
Yeah, let us know if you've got any great ideas for upgrades that we can make. We would love to hear them.
Also, how would you change the layout? Would you keep it this way? Over the years, we might think about changing it. For now, it's perfect, but would love to know how we can make it better.
If you liked the video or you found it at all helpful, please hit that like button. And also, we are going to be heading out on the road for a great American road trip, so make sure you hit subscribe to follow along.
And nothing left to say. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time, and beans out!